Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Kensington Tallman about Home Sweet Rome, which recently premiered on Family Channel. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to be here. This will be fun.
It's exciting. I mean, the show recently dropped on Family Channel. Is it starting to hit you that it finally came on and people are able to see what you've been working on?
Yes, it's feeling really real now, and I'm just so excited that everybody can see this amazing show that we all work so hard on, and I can't wait for everybody else to see it because it's so awesome.
What could you tell me about the audition process? Was this one of those shows where you knew a lot about it? Did you know kind of a little bit? Because every audition I feel like is different. They tell you a lot in some, they don't tell you much in others. Did you know a good amount for this audition?
I mean, I knew like pretty much the full backstory of Lucy, and I knew a lot about her character. So when I got the audition, she is like basically the same person as me, which is so awesome. And then, I didn't know too much of kind of like what was going on, like when she actually got to Italy in Rome, but I knew a good amount and it was really fun. I had a blast. I submitted a self-tape. Then I got to meet with Michael Poirier, the co-creator who also created Hannah Montana and That's So Raven. And I did chem reads and producer run-throughs, and we had amazing showrunners, Courtney Jane Walker and Matt Huter, who were on the call. And we had our amazing director, Steve Scaney, who is so funny, and everyone was so great. And it was a great audition process.
It's pretty cool to be on a show where like there's a lot of shows that have music in it. It's really cool because this one, like, music is on top of like being in Italy. Music is like one of the focal points of the show, right? Because the pop star component and everything. What's that like being part of a TV show where music is kind of the centerpiece in a lot of ways?
Being part of a music-centered show is really, really cool. It feels kind of surreal for me because singing wasn't something that I was super confident in 3 years ago. I couldn't sing. And so I've developed my skills and I've trained really, really hard. I trained like 6 days a week leading up to Home Sweet Rome. And I would, before I would go to set, I'd do a voice lesson at like 6 a.m. and I come home, do another voice lesson or uke lesson. And, I'm just so glad that I get to play this incredible character and sing these beautiful songs. All our songs were written and produced by the incredible Alex Gringas and Chen Neiman. And what's really amazing about the songs itself, they're so relatable and they're fun and they're upbeat and they're emotional, and I think everybody's just going to enjoy them. And we also have songs in Italian, which is really cool.
That's really awesome too. I feel like it's interesting if you look at your character is basically thrown in a situation where she has to kind of adapt and figure things out as she goes, right? Is that fun when you're reading the script for that? Where you're just kind of like playing a character that just kind of thrown in and it's like, all right, let's go. And it's like fast paced.
100%. And like even going to Italy, I was like, oh, I'm here. Like I got a second to like look at the city. I got like a week to kind of explore everything. But I definitely, this was my first time working internationally. It's my very first time in Europe. So I definitely could relate to Lucy in that way. And reading the script, it's like, oh, poor Lucy. One thing after another goes wrong for her. It's like, oh, she falls in a fountain. Oh, now the whole class is mad at her. Oh, now she has this horrible nickname. Like the list goes on of horrible things that happen to Lucy. But what I love about Lucy is how optimistic she is, and she always rises above that. And she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm great, and everything's fine. I'm going to be positive and optimistic, which I love about her.
It's so crazy too because you mentioned it being in Italy, and there's a lot of scenes. Even from the trailer, you could see there's a lot of beautiful scenery, and you got to obviously be in a lot of amazing places. Did you, I'm curious about that though. Did you have a lot of opportunities to kind of go see Italy when you weren't shooting, or were they very kind of like, was it basically very kind of like strict, kind of like you were only there to shoot, so maybe there wasn't as much time, or did you have a chance to kind of sightsee a little bit?
So the first week I was there, I was there with my friend and I got to kind of explore the city a bit. Yeah. We ate gelato every single day that week. We even had gelato for breakfast one day. That was really fun. We got to explore the Colosseum, and we went to the Trevi and the Spanish Steps. And then while I was filming, it was a pretty consistent schedule. Yeah. So I only got like the weekends off. So, and I would like go around Rome and I would see, the sights. But then after we finished filming, my family came over because my dad and my brother were still in America at the time. So it was me and my mom. So they came over and we did like a Colosseum tour and we went to Venice and like we really got to just soak in the beauty of Italy. And it just made me love Italy even more, just having that time, just me in Rome, just exploring that.
The reason I asked that is because I know a lot of people that I've interviewed on my show before that like they go to New Zealand, they work on a show, but like they're in New Zealand like working on it, right? They're on set and everything, and there's not much time to check things out. You know what I mean? So like,
no, 100%.
Which I think is really cool. What would you say is your favorite thing about your character specifically? I feel like it's fun, right? Because this is like the first time you got to play this character. And you said at the beginning of the interview there are some similarities. Is there something you like the most about this character specifically?
It's a good question. There's so much that I love about Lucy. I think the two of the main things I love about her, like I said, how optimistic she is. Like literally everything could be going wrong, but she will always find the bright side. And I think we're definitely very similar in that way. And I think she's just so positive, and I love that. And she also learns to just embrace herself and the silliness and the goofiness. And she learns, that you're enough. And I think for so long, Lucy tries really hard to fit in, and she's trying to please everyone. She's in a new country, so she's dealing with a lot. And then she realizes that people like me for my silliness and my goofiness and how like fun and kind I am. And I think that was a really important lesson that Lucy taught me, actually. And I think it's an important lesson that every teen should learn. And I think that's something that everybody is gonna see from Lucy.
This is obviously not your first TV show. I believe you were on That Girl Lele on Nickelodeon.
Yes, I'm actually filming an episode. Oh, sorry. I'm actually filming an episode of That Girl Lele this week. And I did a show before on Nickelodeon called Drama Club, and that was so much fun as well. So this was my very first time as a lead character. So it was just a blast playing.
Did it feel does it feel kind of sometimes like school when you're working on these shows because you're just learning all the time? Because I feel like that's something too. You're against the sets and there's the cameras and everything. Like, do you feel like you're learning a lot of the time?
I'm definitely learning. It's more like fun though. It's more like fun learning. Like this is what I love to do. I see it like as play, like it's play all day. You get to play these characters and it's just fun. And I learned so much from being on Home Sweet Rome. And, I learned so much about the Italian culture and how they do things. And I learned a lot about cameras, like you said. I learned a lot about the scripts itself. And I learned how to, really fully break down a scene and just kind of like analyze everything. And I think that was really, really cool.
You mentioned Drama Club, you mentioned That Girl Lele, you look at Home Sweet Rome, these characters maybe have some similarities here and there, but at the end of the day, they're going to be very different and different kind of like different storylines and everything. Is that one of your favorite things about being an actor, or storyteller, being able to kind of not only dive into all these different worlds, Kensington, but playing different characters? Is that one of the best things about it?
Yes, that is literally one of my favorite things about acting is the storytelling aspect, and as well as getting to play characters who are very similar to you, like Lucy, or who are completely different than you, like my character Tiffany on That Girl Lele and Bianca on Drama Club. And I love playing like the characters where, you just get to step into this whole other world. And then I also, love playing characters like Lucy, where you really get to see that vulnerability and you get to really use a lot of your own personal aspects that drive that character, which I think is really cool. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite things about acting.
Is there also kind of like this, maybe not craving, but is there kind of this interest after working on shows like this to go behind the camera and write and produce and direct, or is acting something you're kind of focusing on mainly right now?
No, 100%. Acting, directing, writing, being a showrunner, just the whole creative process, especially producing, like that is something that I would love to do. I would love to go to university and go to film school and really pursue those things because I love being an actress, and I think being able to have all those sides would just be so incredible. I see all these incredible actors and actresses who are amazing actors, but they're also creating the show, and they're writers, and they're amazing at it, and they're producers, and I just look up to them so much, especially like Zendaya. Like she's a producer and she's also an incredible actress.
And I feel like it just happens too. I feel like one day, you're acting, and then it just happens that you're kind of roped in to like maybe like write something one day. Like I feel like you think about it a little bit, but I feel like it just happens a lot of the time.
100%. Like me and my best friend Samantha A. Smith are trying to write a show right now. We're co-creating a show about two best friends, and the whole joke is that they're complete polar opposites because we're polar opposites, but that's kind of the whole basis of our friendship and how we get along is because we balance each other out. And so that's kind of like what we want to make a show about. And so yeah, we just kind of like had the idea and we're like, hey, this would be kind of fun. Like what if we actually did this someday? So our hope is to produce it and star in it and get it out there someday.
Getting back to Home Sweet Rome, I kind of want to know in terms of what we can expect. You did talk about, the music component of it being in Italy. What else can we expect from this show, which recently dropped on Family Channel, besides kind of the obvious things that we talked about throughout this interview?
There is so much heart in Home Sweet Rome, and I think you're really going to see that across the series. And every character goes through a different character arc, and there's lots of surprises on the way. Don't worry, there's more falls along the way for Lucy. You'll get to see more clumsiness, and definitely the music is a huge aspect, and there's a huge character arc that Lucy goes through with the music aspect, and a lot of self-discovery happens within her, and we leave on a really cool cliffhanger as well. And, you'll also see different sides of, Francesca, who plays my stepmom, played by the incredible Eleonora Facchini, and, how she's kind of guiding me in this new world, and how Lucy's making new friends, and how she's also trying to stay connected to her old friends, like her bestie Kyla, played by the incredible Ava Rowe. And so that was something that was really cool, and that was really amazing to touch on in the series.
She also has Aaron and Aaron coming on Nickelodeon too, which is so awesome too. There's so much going on with all. You also have so many projects. It's amazing.
I'm so proud of her. Like, first of all, the moment me and Ava met, like, we immediately connected. I'm so happy for her. She is so talented, not only as an actress, but as a singer, a musician, a dancer. She can play, she plays the ukulele, the guitar. I think she probably plays bass. I know she plays the drums, and she plays the piano as well. Like, she's so talented, and she's also, like, the most down-to-earth and sweetest person ever.
I know. It's pretty crazy, too, to see it's just these shows like Aaron and Aaron, Home Sweet Rome, they make you, they're feel-good shows.
Yes,
there's not much more to say. They're feel-good shows.
Definitely. Home Sweet Rome is a feel-good show. You'll be able to soak in like this cultural beauty, and you'll be able to kind of like immerse yourself in this Italian culture, and you'll be able to like really feel these emotions, and you'll be able to see Lucy going through all these things. And it's really relatable too. I feel like a lot of the things that Lucy's going through, because she's moving and her mom sadly passes away. So she's dealing with loss, and she has a new stepmom, and that's really hard to deal with. And I know I've moved a lot, so making new friends and going to a new school is really challenging. And I think it's important for kids to know that they're not alone in these circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The heart, and I think that's what you said at the beginning of the interview. Like the heart of the show is unbelievable, and people like it. It's real. Like the show is very real, and people could relate to it. So they could check that out on Family Channel in Canada. It will at one point be available in the US.
Yes, it's coming to HBO Max soon, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, you guys have to stay tuned for the launch on HBO Max. Absolutely.
Kensington, thanks so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me today. I had an absolute blast. It was so nice to talk to you, Peter. And I hope we get to do this again soon.
Absolutely. And then very quickly, your Instagram account, if people want to keep up to date with anything, is it just your name?
It's Hey Kensington. So that's my Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome.
Hey Kensington.
Yes, they can check that out. Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can, of course, catch Kensington Tallman as Lucy in Home Sweet Rome, which recently premiered on Family Channel. Until next time, it's Kensington and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.